in our own backyards to reduce the risk of our loved ones contracting COVID from us, we did it. If that meant pooling resources to live temporarily with our nurses, with other nurses, to keep our families safe, or living in a hotel, we did it. If that meant our own relationships got damaged in the process, and sometimes beyond repair, even though those same relationships are the ones you rely on during excruciating times like this, we did it. If that meant performing CPR on someone who collapsed in front of the ER entrance before they could even enter our doors, we did it. The nurses of Los Angeles County, we sacrificed ourselves, all the weariness, all the heartache, the pain, and this pandemic isn't over with yet. Still, the nurses of Los Angeles County, we keep coming back day after day, night after night, because we care about the people of Los Angeles County, we care about our communities, and we care about the people that we serve. We came back even after we had to fight for PPE. We came back even some of us got COVID. We even came back after some of our colleagues have died from COVID. The entire experience is shocking, and I don't know a single person whose life has not been affected by this deadly virus. But management's treatment of us has literally led to injury, and the Board of Supervisors is now adding insult to that injury. The treatment of us is offensive. It's interesting to me how 5 county supervisors mandated that supermarket employees must get a pay increase. They got a lot of attention for it. They got a lot of praise for it. Don't get me wrong, we love our supermarket employees and thank them for everything that they did, also putting themselves at risk to make sure we have food and household items during this difficult time. And they deserve too to be rewarded. But their contracts are not signed by Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, ours are. It's insulting and embarrassing that essential frontline workers who are employed directly by Los Angeles County are totally being ignored. We are heroes, and we deserve heroes pay for all. We shouldn't have to ask, we shouldn't have to beg, and I should not be standing here right now letting you know how Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors treat their nurses and their employees. I would also like to take this time to take the opportunity to thank the communities and the businesses for all their support to the essential frontline workers during this pandemic. Thank you for your donations of PPE, snacks, food, meals, cards of kind words, and sentiments. It meant a lot to us, and it means a lot to us. When we were there for you, you were there for us, and we will continue to always be there for you. So a big virtual hug, a big thank you for all your appreciation and gratitude. Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, they need to extend that same appreciation and gratitude to their employees who serve Los Angeles County. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'd like to introduce Alex Valdez, an institutional cook for the LA County Probation Department. Alex?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. My name is Alex Valdez. I am an institutional cook, senior cook for LA County Probation Department, Camp Afflerball in Laverne. Now, we all know that COVID impacted everybody's lives. There is no question, there's no person here that does not know of a story or has a story of a family member, a coworker, or a friend, or an acquaintance that COVID hasn't impacted. We all have the stories. My coworkers and I at the LA County probation camps, we work with our juvenile inmates or juvenile guests. We're proud LA County workers. We're proud to serve our county. We're proud probation workers. We're proud of our department. When the Board of Supervisors and LA County managers rang the bell, we answered it. We came to the calling. We work 14-hour shifts, day in and day out. We do our job and we do it well. We go above and beyond. COVID not only impacted our lives, it didn't lessen our workload. It quadrupled our workload. We work a lot of overtime. We work 14-hour shifts. We don't live close by. Some of us live far. 14-hour shifts. And let's just take COVID out of the equation for 1 minute. We work what we do. We cook for a living. We feed our juvenile guests. And sometimes they're not the brightest lights on the circuit, but it is what it is. Let's be frank about it. This is what we deal with on a daily basis. For county management to say that they have our backs, they don't have our backs. And I'm going to tell you why. If somebody had our backs, they wouldn't be saying things like this, and I quote, from a county manager, I quote, "I cannot remember the last time the county gave a $2,000 bonus to a county worker." Where our response is, "I can't remember the last time we had COVID and over 100,000 people passed away." That's feckless and shameless on their part. Okay? And along with the Board of Supervisors, they lack the testicular fortitude to come to the table and negotiate with us. We're essential workers. If we don't show up to work, who's going to feed these kids? Who's going to feed them? Who's going to do our job? They're not going to come down and do our job. My department supervisors were scared to visit our camps. They would not even go to our camps. I didn't have the privilege of working from home. I had to show up every single day. And I'm still showing up every single day. Day in and day out. We all heard the stories of people getting COVID. Well, guess what? I've got COVID not once, twice. I've gotten COVID twice, and by the grace of God, I made it through. I'm still here. So for the county managers and county supervisors to say that we're not essential, I don't agree. I don't agree. We are essential. We are important. We've had their backs all along. We still have our backs. We still have their backs to this day. But my coworkers and I, we feel betrayed. We feel swindled. We feel we've been conned. We feel we're nothing but elephants at a circus where they just walk around and throw peanuts at us. That's how we feel. That's how we really feel. And it's not right. It's not right because we all have a job to do. I know when I applied for this job, I know what I was getting into. Like I said, I'm a proud county employee. I'm a proud probation employee. I'm proud of my department. I'm proud to support. I'm proud to be on the front lines, along with my other co-workers and other union brothers from 721. We are proud county workers, and we represent our jobs very well. But for the shameless acts of the county managers and board of supervisors as well, that's uncalled for. Like I said, we didn't telework. We had to show up to work. We didn't work from the confines of our home, where we can get up in the morning and make our coffee and have our breakfast and then get on the computer and do what we need to do. No, we had to show up 5 o'clock sharp, work 14 hours a day, make meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then sanitize, 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 because everybody's scared of getting COVID. COVID knows no boundaries. COVID knows no fences. COVID does not know culture. COVID will attack anybody. And it has. It's impacted. Look what it's done to our city, to our county, to our state, to the nation. Look what it's done. The effects of COVID is going to be remembered long after we are gone away. It's still going to be there. People are still going to remember COVID. I hope that the county managers and the board of supervisors open up their eyes and clean out their ears and listen to see what's really going on. These are the facts. Everybody up here has a story to tell. These are facts, not fiction, not myths. COVID is real and it's here. And in closing, I want to say thank you to all the essential workers, all my union brothers, SEIU 721, brothers and sisters. Thank you for putting up the fight. Thank you for still being in the fight. Thank you to all those essential workers that go to work on a daily basis and do what they need to do. We've had the county's back. We still got the county's back. But unfortunately, the truth is they don't have ours. They don't have ours. And my message to the county is, one message to the county, and I hope you're listening, and this goes to the Board of Supervisors as well. Don't be a Judah. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for the incredible sacrifices you and your colleagues continue to make for our community. Our next speaker is Marquita Harris, a registered nurse with the LA County Department of Public Health. Marquita?
Good morning. I'm a public health nurse with the Department of Public Health. I'm here to advocate for all county workers. We are essential workers. But I'm also here to speak on the nurses from the Department of Public Health. We are the overlooked healthcare workforce that keeps LA County safe. We ran the pandemic. We created the health orders. We did the COVID testing, contract tracing, lab processing, and vaccine administration. Those things didn't just happen because someone in the ivory tower gave a speech on TV from time to time. While the world stayed at home, nurses went out into the communities, homes, offices, hospitals, clinics, health centers, skilled nurse facility, long-term care facilities. Someone had to do the work. We were that someone. What's outrageous is that the entire time the Department of Public Health was enforcing health orders, but didn't do the same thing for the health orders within their own facilities and office. That means nurses like me were put at great risk. We had to fight for basic full sets of PPE. Health facility nurses had to go into skilled nurse facility, long-term care facilities without being properly full sets of PPE. They wanted nurses to go from facility to facility, all in the same day. Nurses finally got full sets of PPE in May 2020. And that is not the worst of it. Nurses in child welfare did not get full sets of PPE until August. We were already well into the pandemic. We have a severe critical PHN shortage in child welfare since 2016. We had to push, beg, and fight for our safety. Then there were nurses with chronic health conditions. Clearly there was opportunities for the nurses to do full telework, but they were denied. Meanwhile, county managers who needed to telework, they had no problems securing that telework for themselves. Do you know that 29% of COVID deaths in LA County were nurses? 29%. But what moved nurses at risk is that they didn't have to. They put us at risk and they didn't have to. It was maddening, and it was clear that they do not care about us. DPH has talked a big game about public health orders and safety, but they do not take care of their own staff. That never should have happened. Finally, I had to file several Cal OSHA complaints for the Torrance Health Center, and that included the DPH nurses as well as DHS staff. They would only COVID screen the staff that was in the front of the building. Some of them tested positive for COVID, but not screening all the staff in the building, visitors or patients that entered the building. No proper social distancing signage. I had to file repeated Cal OSHA complaints to get our own health center into compliance. We had to fight to get cloth coverings in child welfare. The first round was flimsy nylons. We had to fight for proper cloth masks. DPH is the authority in this pandemic. How could we not follow our own health orders? Could we put our own nurses at risk? How could we do that? Some nurses got COVID, not just once, some got it twice. Some nurses have died. I have personal knowledge of two. This kind of mismanagement puts the public at risk, public that the nurses are trying so hard to protect. I have never forgot how nurses told management that the new coronavirus was an aerosol transmissible disease. They ignored us. They did nothing to protect us. It would have followed all the recommendations of LA County, would have been greater precautions earlier if they would have followed their own health orders. A lot of people would not have gotten COVID. Our nursing director kept bragging in March 2020 and stated that they had thousands of N95 available. But they never gave the nurses any PPE until August. Look at how much exposure we had. So DPAs did the health orders and safety orders for the public, but they would not do the same for their staff. Now that they are saying, since public health nurses do not work directly with the hospitals, but we do work directly with the community, that we do not deserve the same level of heroes' pay. First, they would not protect the nurses. Now they're trying to divide the nurses. The entire time we needed to work together and support one another. The entire time county management has set opposite examples. We have never seen so many vicious people who's supposed to be compassionate. All essential workers deserve respect from the county, not contempt. All healthcare workers should be at the top of the budget list after a deadly worldwide pandemic. We should never have to beg for crumbs. Healthcare workers are heroes, not zeros.
Thank you, Marquita. Our last speaker today is a community worker with the Department of Mental Health Services, Lawrence Reyes.
Good morning. My name is Lawrence Reyes. I'm a senior community mental health worker with the Department of Mental Health. And I would just want to say, before I begin, I just want to memorialize our esteemed president, Linda Dent Presente. And I also want to quote my mother. My mother always would say that out of every challenge, there is an opportunity. And this pandemic has caused county workers to seize the opportunity when we were given our marching orders, and we phone bank, we walked the precincts, we engage in campaigning for these supervisors that we elected, and they need to step up. They need to step up and come correct. Because I feel like Malcolm X Shabazz will say, I feel hoodwinked, and that's not okay. I feel like Martin Luther King would say, an injustice to one is an injustice to all. And this is an injustice that's being played. I feel like I'm being played, not paid. And I need to get paid. We all need to get paid. So I go with this. My job requires me to work directly with some of the most vulnerable fellow human beings in the streets. I work the streets. I work with those people who are unhoused, and I work with them from a point of somebody that's been there, somebody that has that lived experience. And during the pandemic, where you are told to physically distance and socially distance from human beings, we went and we provided that connection. We did everything that we could to provide a connection with those people right next to us right here who are sleeping in that park right there. Those are the people that we work with. These are human beings. These are not just numbers on the homeless count. These are human beings, and they need to be serviced. And that's what the Department of Mental Health does. And I'm proud to work with the Department of Mental Health. I've been with the Department of Mental Health for almost 14 years. And right now, we are in the middle of bargaining. And these supervisors have sent us their proxies without making sure that they disrespect us, making sure that they show no concern, making sure that they show no value as to the work that we do. So again, I work with those who are challenged as I once was, and I still am. I still go in the streets and I still work with them. You'll know me, LA can. Wherever there's a place that needs me, I'm there. I'm there as a human being, reaching out to a human being. So I like to say that I'm a proud member of SEIU 721. I belong to the bargaining unit that represents social workers, and we are grateful for bargaining unit 711 for showing us the way and for having esteem for community health workers, mental health peer advocates, for those people who are in the trenches, those people who were redeployed as disaster services workers to the project so-called room and key, where there was a room, but not many people had keys. So let's get this, let's keep this straight, okay? This Board of Supervisors needs to tell those people that they sent to the bargaining table to start acting serious. We need a cost of living allowance, because the cost of living, as you see, gas, food, everything's skyrocketing. We need a cost of living allowance. We need heroes pay for everybody that's here. I come from a nurse. My mom was a nurse, was a public health nurse in Brooklyn, New York. So I know what it is like to be raised by a nurse. And I see when she would get home and she had to throw up her feet. And I know these nurses and these healthcare workers that work in these hospitals, they didn't have that opportunity. They had to pitch a tent in their yards in order to not risk their children from becoming infected with the COVID-19 virus. So again, I do my job because I understand my job. And the reason why I understand my job, because I know it's the people that are most vulnerable, that people step over, that people laugh at, that people don't really give a shit about. Well, I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but I did. So for months now, this Board of Supervisors need to be held accountable. Now, my supervisor is Hilda Solis. Know her well. I know her health deputies. They often call on me to work with people in their district. And I have a lot of respect to all 5 of them. I have high esteem for them. But they need to step up and do the right thing. Because if not, when you come to us to get your endorsement, I, as a ranking file member, I will definitely speak up against you if you don't do the right thing and provide a fair shake at the bargaining table, because that's what's needed. That's what's needed right now. It's not, all these photo ops and you giving the county marching orders from a nice, comfortable place. That's a disconnection. That's the complete disconnect. The complete disconnect is that people in the streets here, people that work the streets, are being told by somebody that's perched somewhere in their condo to go and reach out to them. I don't have a problem doing that because they're my priority. And my priority is my fellow union members. And the fact is that I will hold the Board of Supervisors' feet, as they say, to the fire. I will hold the Board of Supervisors' feet to the fire, because that's not okay what they're doing. They are not coming in good faith, and we need to be able to hold them accountable for that. So I hope the community joins with labor, with SEIU 721, to fight this fight, because we are in a fight, and who knows what's going to happen next, because we got 2 more days of bargaining. Who knows? I'm not going to say the S word, but we will definitely escalate it. As the youth say, we will turn it up, we will turn it up, and we will turn it up. Thank you so much for your time.
That's right, brother. Right, Brother Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you all for joining us this morning. This concludes the press conference. We'll have speakers available for one-on-one interviews afterwards. Thank you very much.